Hello and welcome back to Josh Davidson Books. This is my author YouTube channel where I'm continuing my reread of my very first novel, Werewolves Hide, as part of my homework for working on the sequel, Book 2. We're getting ready to read Chapter 20. If you enjoyed this chapter or have enjoyed any of the rest of the book, please consider supporting me by buying the book for $4.99. The digital version is under $5. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback and hardcover if you want as well. If you do end up picking it up, please give it a review on Amazon. I really appreciate it. So I'm doing my author commentary when I reread this, so I interrupt and share various thoughts and behind-the-scenes tidbits. I'm not reading it to be an audiobook or to perform it. If you want to hear the voices and use your own imagination, just pick up the book yourself. I'm genuinely rereading it to remind myself of all of the specific events that ended up in the book so that I can prepare myself as part of my work for the sequel. Here we go, Chapter 20. Lacey stands outside her trailer alone at night. The porch light shines behind her as she holds Billy by the leash, waiting for him to go to the bathroom in the grass. She lets the dog do its business while she stares up at the night sky, resting her hand on her belly. Billy walks to a different spot toward the end of the driveway to mark more territory. Lacey walks with him a little so he can finish. While Lacey stands at the end of her driveway, she looks to the right toward the dead-end side of the parking lot aisle. Near a flickering street lamp, a shadowy figure emerges from the darkness, standing completely still and appearing to be staring at her. She squints to see who or what it is, but can't quite make it out. As Billy finishes on the lawn, he also senses the figure and begins yapping and growling aggressively. A large thud is heard in the grass behind the shed, which causes Lacey to jump and turn her attention to the right. An ominous shadow appears on the grass as another unknown figure slowly creeps toward her from behind the shed. She tugs Billy's leash to pull him back as they both turn around to hurry inside. As she approaches the front door, terror washes over her face as yet another shadow from a third figure standing on her roof engulfs her shifty eyes and trembling lips. The moonlight behind them blacks out their face. The unknown person on the roof crouches down to get a better look at Lacey. As they lower themselves, light from the porch reveals that it's Kylie, the girl that was rude to Bo at the bar. She is in a half-wolf form with a small snout, glowing yellow eyes, and claws. Her angled wolf ears poke out of either side of her head through her brunette hair. She's wearing the long white sleeve shirt and dress slacks that Sterling had in his video. Wolf Kylie smiles and laughs in a low, haunting manner. "Hi, Lacey." Lacey gasps and immediately runs inside her trailer, slamming and locking the door behind her. She looks up at the ceiling as footsteps can be seen denting through the weak metal on her roof. Her head tilts up as her eyes track the destructive stride down the long hallway to the back bedroom, but suddenly the tracks stop. It appears as if Wolf Kylie is standing above Lacey's bedroom. She stares in silent suspense, waiting for something else to happen. Maybe the roof will cave in, or she might climb in the window. Lacey doesn't know, but is terrified to find out. While staring down the hall at her room, there's a sudden crash behind her as another werewolf explodes into her kitchen through the trailer wall. A quick glimpse of them shows they're wearing the same white shirt and slacks as Wolf Kylie. Although he is also half changed with a partial snout, this wolf was the short man wearing a red flannel shirt who fought Bo in the bar earlier. Lacey doesn't hesitate. The moment the wall crashes, she grabs her car keys and runs back out the door. Billy the dog tries to keep up with her, but the short werewolf swipes at him, slashing his side and breaking him off the leash. Billy yelps in pain as his ragdoll body flies through the air, coming to a rest on the couch. Wolf Kylie slams down into the trailer from the roof and looks at the short wolf. "Get her, Chester!" As Lacey scrambles to open the door to her old police car, the figure who was furthest away a moment ago suddenly lands next to her. I'm trying not to interrupt too much because the flow of the scene is action. His paws leave divots on the grass at the end of her driveway after closing the distance with a great leap. She finally untangles her keys and gets inside her car, immediately starting the engine and accelerating forward. As she exits her parking spot, the third werewolf scrapes the passenger side of her vehicle all the way down as she pulls away. In the trailer light, the last wolf is confirmed to be the sizable green-shirted bully from Bo's bar fight, only now he's wearing a matching white shirt and slacks along with Kylie and the short wolf. The two wolves in the trailer exit to regroup with him as Wolf Chester forwards the message he received from Kylie. "Go get her, Eric!" As they embark on their chase, they sneer at each other in mean-spirited joy. So it was quite the challenge to not just name characters, but to give characters names depending on what form of werewolf they were in. Are they full wolf? Are they half wolf? Or are they human? And I I came up with full and half because that's how the moon is described. It's a full moon. It's a half moon. I thought that would be a fun way to, to specify what version of wolf you were seeing. I didn't go with quarter or three quarters because I thought that was just too much. So it's either full wolf or half wolf or human form. And that's kind of how I anticipate describing the different werewolf versions possible going forward. So we have Wolf Chester, Wolf Kylie, and Wolf Eric. They're all in their full wolf forms here. Lacey speeds down the rural road in town that has evenly spaced street lamps every several dozen feet. Also, I'll stop again. The initial plan for Lacey's abduction was that she would just be abducted there at the trailer, and that was the end of the scene. But I thought, Lacey deserves more. She's a stronger character than that, and it'd be more harrowing if I made it just a full-blown chase scene. And it made sense that she would try to go back to the diner where she feels the most safe and spends the most of her time. She speeds down the highway. The roof lights and sirens have been activated as she tries to draw attention to her situation for help, because she's using, that old police car. She checks her mirrors and sees all three werewolves pouncing through the sky behind her. The shapes of their strides can only be seen in the brief moments they appear under the streetlights. Lacey finally enters a more populated town area and goes to the diner, the only other safe place near her. She skids into the parking lot and comes to a screeching halt. She leaves the car running in an attempt to hide quickly, but realizes she needs her keys. She turns back around as fast as possible, turning off the engine and getting her key ring. The lights and sirens from the car finally go silent. Lacey gets to the diner's front door, where all the lights and signage are powered down. She hastily finds the right key and lets herself inside, closing and locking the door behind her. She looks out the diner windows and sees the werewolves standing on the rooftop across the street. Lacey runs in the dark through the kitchen area and turns on various items like the grill and the power water spray near the dishes. She gets to the back near the box compactor and hits several power switches, turning on all the inside and outside lights. Heading to the time punch clock, Lacey finds an old dial-up phone around the corner on the wall. Just as she completes dialing 911, she hears glass shatter from the front dining area. 911, what's your emergency? The operator asks with urgency on the other end of the line. Lacey cries as she talks as fast as possible. Yes, hi, I'm at Joe's Diner in Blue Ridge, and 3 people are trying to kill me. They chased me here and wrecked my car, and now they broke inside. I'm trying to hide, but they're going to find me. She covers her mouth to try and silence her whimpering and sniffling. Okay, ma'am, I've sent a request, and local law enforcement will arrive at your location ASAP. I need you to reach for any object in your immediate area that you can defend yourself with, and stay on the line with me as I talk you through this, okay? The operator tries to reassure and calm Lacey. As Lacey looks around the room, she sees no items she can arm herself with. She considers a few brooms or the mop bucket, but those seem futile. As she looks, all three werewolves suddenly walk through the double gray doors and head in her direction. Lacey hangs up the phone and tries to keep the distance between her and the wolves by walking to the box compactor. Wolf Kylie smiles as she talks. We need you alive, you stupid. And so Wolf Kylie uses colorful language. And if you want to read the colorful language and bad language for yourself, you can pick up the book. The digital version is only $4.99. She continues, all this running for nothing. Lacey sobs softly and tries to reason with them as she continues walking backward. My dad's the sheriff, and no one gets away with anything around here. We all know everybody. We're a small town. Everyone's going to know what you did. The wolves approach slowly in a calm yet threatening manner. Kylie reassures Lacey that they know the situation. We're counting on it, she says as she snarls. As they corner Lacey near the box crusher, the short wolf loses his patience and reaches out to be the first one to grab her. Lacey sidesteps him at the last moment and bumps into the compression button on the side of the machine. 3,000 pounds of force instantly drops on the short wolf's left arm as he is clamped and stuck in the box press. He lets out a deep and menacing growl and instinctively tries pulling himself away from the machine, kicking and screaming, but it's useless. After bumping the button, Lacey feels a tremendous amount of pressure in her stomach area. She groans and puts both hands on her tummy as water leaks onto the ground below her. Wolf Kylie and Wolf Eric look at each other laughing before lunging forward with outstretched claws to capture Lacey. So a lot of crazy stuff happening there. Lacey gets abducted and taken. The bullies that have been in the background that were mean to Bo in the bar and were at the hotel with the mysterious woman that Sterling noticed and are now all wearing the same clothes that Bo is wearing that he got from his dad Hank, they capture Lacey. And The box compactor is a little bit of a Chekhov's gun. A little bit. It is. But I'm really proud of it because it's not so obvious, in my opinion. Like, you forget about the box compactor. You're reminded of it slightly when Lacey slips near it, but otherwise you don't think about it. I also really liked this idea of this place of where Lacey has been really comfortable and safe her whole life. She's been working at this diner since she was a kid. That now it's like that sanctity has been violated, and now she's been attacked basically in her own home. Actually in her own home and in her home away from home, the diner. So now we have a scene break. Bo is driving in his truck and is almost at the trailer park. He's whistling to himself while looking at the ring box that is typically hidden away. While turning to enter, he returns it to his back pocket. As he approaches Lacey's trailer, and again, let's not forget the sadness, the drama. Bo did not tell Lacey that he had a job. Bo did not propose to Lacey when he had the chance, when he had the ring in his hand. While turning to enter, he returns it to his back pocket. As he approaches the trailer, he leans forward over his steering wheel to stare in shock through the windshield. He can see that the back of her trailer is severely damaged and the kitchen is in wide open view of the whole neighborhood. His speed slows as he takes in the scene before parking his truck. Realizing that something is likely wrong, Bo panics out of his truck, whips the trailer's front door open, and sprints inside. Half the trailer is demolished and all the lights are on. The television is on as well and playing at a low volume. He looks down at the living room carpet and sees a trail of blood. As he follows the dark red droplets up the couch, they lead to Billy the dog, who has been brutally cut on his side. He desperately wheezes to try and catch a breath that won't come. Bo rushes to be next to Billy and approaches him as he lies on the cushion. Trying to cover up the wound with pillows, Bo's eyes water as the emotions of everything happening build up within him. The dog whimpers when Bo touches him. There's nothing to be done. He closes his eyes to try and focus on changing, but it's difficult because he only recently changed earlier in the evening. He squeezes them shut as hard as he can, clenching his fists and grunts as he bites his teeth. His eyes pop open and they are glowing yellow. He's able to get enough of a transformation to speak with Billy. "Billy, can you hear me? What happened?" Bo asks with tears dripping down his face. "Yeah, mate, I hear you, friend." Billy whispers the words out without having the strength to turn and look at Bo. He tries to make light of his injury. They knew how strong I was and were afraid of a fair fight, clearly. Light chuckles result in coughing blood. "Who?" "Wolfkind." His throat continues to rasp as he tries to clear it. "3 of them. I heard one of them say her name like they knew her." Billy is confused as he recalls what he witnessed. "Did they say who they were or where they were taking her?" Bo asks with immense urgency. "No, but they were wearing the same clothes you are. It's the same wolf smell I tried to warn you about when you found the car door, but you don't listen very well." Billy laughs at his joke about Bo's hearing, but it quickly turns into a deep wheezing as it's clear his time is running out. I've got to get you out of here, get you stitched up." Bo is in denial. "No, mate, my dog days are done. I've been on borrowed time since that bumper hit me years ago. It's okay, Bo. I never had a sad day with you till now. That's a pretty good run." Billy's heavy breathing suddenly gets softer and slower. Bo says his final goodbye. "You're a good boy, Billy. The best boy ever. Good dog. Rest now." Bo lays his hand on his dog's wound. As Billy takes his final breath and passes away, Bo kneels his head down and sobs. After a solemn moment of overwhelming grief, he tries to gather himself while wiping the tears from his eyes. He looks to the right out the exploded kitchen wall and sees the cracked open spying blinds reflexively snap closed. His sadness turns to rage as his yellow glowing eyes transform back to normal. Bo marches out the front door and goes across the street to the blacked out trailer with the blinds. He knocks on the door. "Open the F up!" he shouts at the top of his lungs. The scream echoes throughout the empty trailer park, and no one answers the door. He leans his good ear against it and hears feet scrambling on the floor. He crunches his nose and bites his teeth in anger before using his shoulder as a battering ram, forcing the door open and falling inside the darkened room. He looks up while lying on the ground and sees a shoddy makeshift living room set up. It's a small television in the corner with a lone blanket and a small pillow on an empty floor. It's abandoned with no furniture or living quarter items, but for the evidence of a squatter he sees in front of him. He looks to his right toward the hallway and sees a dark figure trying to slowly crawl away from him. Bo stands up without hesitation and treads violently toward the hall. He grabs the stranger in the dark by the shoulders and slams them through the closed bathroom door. He turns on the lights above the mirror and reveals that his dad, Hank, is the one who is hiding here and spying. Hank has fallen back into the bathtub and looks around at his surroundings as his eyes adjust to the light. There are red blood stains on the bottom of the bathtub, and it is quickly apparent that this trailer is the old trailer that they used to live in where Denise gave birth. So, big time revelation. Hank has been living nearby in secret, staying in their old trailer where Bo was born, spying on everybody, spying on Denise, spying on Bo, spying on Lacey, keeping tabs on everybody without admitting it or acknowledging it. Bo isn't playing games and isn't accepting lies. Tell me what the F is going on right now, or I'm going to end you where I began. And again, is that a little poetic? Is it a little too on the nose? Is it a little too movie line, one-liner? It is, but it's my book, and I like the sound of it, so I left it in there. I'm going to end you where I began. Hank straightens himself in the tub and believes Bo's threats. He raises his hand in a calming motion to try and keep things peaceful. Okay, I promise. The truth. He sits on the tub's edge while trying to wipe the bloodstains off his clothes, but it's pointless. He clasps his hands together and begins explaining. I came back for you, Bo. I did. That's true. I just didn't come alone. See, when I was at my lowest point, my worst self, abusive, hateful, begging for death, a miracle happened. I found my brotherhood. Or rather, they found me. The doctor, Bo recalls the story his mother told him, and the doctor that she said his dad ran off with. Hank smiles. The doctor, exactly. Bo, he saved your mom's life. Your life and my life. If I had stayed, I had beaten one or both of you to death and ended up in prison or dead myself. Joining the Brotherhood was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like-minded wolf kind who wanted to live a straight and narrow path. And we're growing. We spent the last several years traveling the country, finding more like-minded folks to join us. Bo looks on in fear as Hank continues. Hank stands up from the edge of the tub and is face to face with Bo. And when our next stop brought us back to Blue Ridge, well, I had to try, Bo. To try what? To see if you'd join us. Hank gulps nervously as his big plan has been admitted. But you said wolves don't talk to each other. It's dangerous. Right. I taught you the rules so you could know the history, and I genuinely wanted to keep you and the girls safe. Bo is quickly reminded why he's here. He grabs Hank by his shirt collar and pulls his face closer. Where is she? Why was she taken? Hank continues talking even more nervously. It's complicated, rooted in history that neither one of us has anything to do with. Bo grips tighter as his eyes expand with rage. I have everything to do with it. They effed with the wrong wolf. Now tell me. Bo, I saved Lacey's life. There are hunters, people who know about our kind, who seek us out for sport and power. And one of those hunters is Sheriff Theron. Bo is surprised. Her dad is a wolf hunter? Hank nods in confirmation. Yes, that's right. And when the Brotherhood was thinking of ways to take revenge on the hunters for killing their own and taking their hide, her name came up. Once I realized who she was, I immediately started spending as much time here as I could, trying to watch out for her and make sure she was okay. She would have been dead already, but I convinced the caretaker to let me try and recruit you first and let her live, because Hank can't bring himself to say it. Bo finishes the sentence for Hank as he realizes what the wolves are after. Because she's pregnant with my baby. Hank is pleading desperately. Please believe me. I never wanted any of this to happen. I wanted to give back what I had been receiving, to spread joy and nothing else. Bo punches Hank across the face and knocks him back into the bathtub. He points at him while Hank wipes blood from his lips. You're dead to me. Bo barges out of the abandoned trailer and frantically dials Madison. His phone shows that it's 12:50 a.m. Listen, this is a breakneck chapter. We couldn't really stop a lot. Madison answers on the other line. Hello? Everything okay? Lacey's been taken, and I know who took her. Meet me at the diner and bring something to make him hurt. And that's the end of chapter 20. So the big Lacey abduction chapter where she is taken by the wolves, the reveal that Hank is the stranger across the way, the realization and admission that Hank has other wolves here with him and they wanted Bo to join him, and that they want to hurt Lacey because Lacey is a hunter's daughter, and some crazy big more like world lore stuff that in my opinion is introduced in a really good way because it's introduced when it matters. I didn't start the book with there are hunters and there are wolves. Like we just As information reveals itself, I'll share it with you, the reader, and that way we can keep the story moving along and you can get information as it pertains to the story. So I'm really proud of how things start to get way more complicated, way more interesting, way more kind of menacing with the seriousness of dealing with Lacey, pregnant Lacey being taken from Bo. And yeah, so a really visceral chapter, a harrowing escape attempt from Lacey, and really something that I'm really proud of that chapter because I've never written a book before, and I've never written action in a book. I usually, and if you write a movie, the movie just says Neo fights Agent Smith, but then you get to make the movie to make the fight. In a book, you don't get to do that. You just have the book to describe the fight. So I did a lot of research on like how to write action, how to write fights, how to describe, the big moments, the big movements that matter. So hopefully, if people read this or listen to this, that they had a really clear image in their head of what was happening with the wolves leaping after Lacey and her getting into the diner and all of the kind of the big moments. So yeah, excited to keep going and finish this and get this work wrapped up so I can start on book 2. If you enjoyed this chapter, please consider supporting my work by buying the book. It's only $4.99 for the digital version. I think the paperback is under $20 as well if you want a physical copy. And it would really mean a lot and help me work towards the sequel. If you want to support or follow my author work long term, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and comment on videos. If you do comment, please no spoilers or a healthy spoiler warning so we don't ruin it for anybody else, and try to keep comments relegated to the chapter that we just read. As always, thank you for watching or listening, and I'll see you in the next video.